For this lesson, I'm working with a project file called 0104 Build a Sequence, and you can find that with the media included with this lesson. Just double-click on the project file to open it. Clips in the project panel are ready to be combined creatively by adding them to a sequence. Now, a sequence is a container, and as you may be able to tell from the name, clips added to a sequence are organized into a series of items that will play one after another. And let's create one now. This is a simple project with just 3 clips. I'll switch this to the icon view so you can see the contents of them. The clips are already imported, and you can see the timeline panel says drop media here to create sequence. So let's do that. I'm going to drag on the blank space of the project panel to lasso across these 3 clips so they're all 3 selected, and I'm going to drag them into the timeline panel. They've been added in the order I selected them, one after another, with time going from left to right. I'm just going to click and drag up here at the far left of the timeline panel so you can see the thumbnails for the clips. This area in the timeline panel is called the track header. At the top here, you can see some numbers indicating the passage of time. And if I click on those numbers, you can see the blue playhead here moves to where I click. The playhead indicates the frame that I'm going to be looking at. I can play the contents of my sequence by clicking the play button under the program monitor. That becomes a stop button, so you can click that to stop playback too. You can also use the space bar, just like this. As the playhead moves across a cut, you'll see that we transition from one clip to another. And you can also drag the playhead across the sequence. So here, I'm moving quite quickly through the content. When this sequence was created, which happened when I dragged the clips into the timeline panel, it also appeared in the project panel. It has the same name as the first clip selected. And you'll notice that there's a little icon. I'm going to click away to deselect it. There's a different icon for sequences as you'll see on clips, just at the bottom right-hand corner of the thumbnail. If I go to the list view, you can see the icons a little bit more clearly. I'm going to click on the name for this, just once to select and once again to highlight the text, and I'm going to call it First Sequence. I'll just click away to apply that. Now you can have as many sequences as you like, and professional editors sometimes combine sequences in creative ways. I want to draw your attention in the timeline panel over here on the right to these thin lines dividing sections of the timeline panel. Each of these is a track you can put clips onto. I've put clips here onto video 1, and you can see we've got V1, V2, V3, and so on. We've got A1, A2, A3 for audio. You can just about make out the waveforms for these clips as well. That's showing how loud the audio is that's associated with these particular video clips. All the audio tracks play together, but video tracks play one above the other. So if you had a title or a graphic, you would put that on an upper video track, maybe V2 or V3, to play in front of a lower track. Video and audio clips are separate in the timeline panel. But because these clips came together, when you click on the video, it selects the audio too, and vice versa. If I want to remove a clip, I can just make sure it's selected by single-clicking and hit the delete key, and it's gone. I'm going to undo that with Ctrl-Z on Windows. That'll be Command-Z on macOS. If I want to remove this clip without leaving a gap, I can hold the Shift key while I press delete. I'm going to go back to the icon view in the project panel and find that clip again. Here it is. And drag it onto the timeline. And you'll notice when I do, it snaps into position. See, as I drag there, it jumps into position just at the end of the series. Releasing the mouse button places the clip. Another way to create a new sequence is to select a number of clips in the project panel. Here, I'm holding the Shift key down to select all 3 of these clips again. And I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to choose New Sequence from Clip. It has the same effect as dragging the clips into an empty timeline panel. And right away, you can see the new sequence has been created right here in the project panel. So that's how you build a new sequence, add and remove clips in Adobe Premiere Pro.